Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead The Ones Who Live video. So in this one here, I wanted to talk about the new scenes that we got. There's actually some new footage, and we're going to get a lot of this. There's going to be a lot of new footage here and there because there's new TV spots, and a lot of it is going to be the same, but there's going to be these little scenes here and there that obviously feature a lot more stuff. And so in this one here, we have some shots of Pacific Republic military. There's some stuff of Rick and also of Michonne. So before we go any further, obviously make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. I'm going to be covering this show quite a bit. This show is airing in just a little over a month. Obviously, I'll be doing reviews and breakdowns of every single episode and sort of get into all the, just what everything means, this and that. And then, yeah, I mean, I'm so excited for this show. I can't wait to see where Rick and Michonne's story is going to be going next. And I'm just excited for all the new teasers and stuff like that. I just did a video on the first episode's title and the runtime and what that could mean. I mean, it's a very long episode, so I'm hoping that I do think it's probably going to just mostly focus on catching up the audience to what Rick's been up to for the last however long, and I think that's why it's titled that. And we're going to see a lot of stuff with Michonne that I think it's going to end on some sort of cliffhanger of obviously Michonne finding out more about the Pacific Republic military and finding some hope of, I think that's where Rick could be. So yeah, if you want my videos breaking down all of that, then make sure to be a subscriber here. But let's actually talk about these scenes here. So the first one here is of Michonne, and we see her in some yellow gas. She's fighting a zombie, or sorry, a walker here. And yeah, it's the chlorine gas or whatever, and she's not breathing it in. I mean, obviously she is going to survive this, so like I'm not that worried about like, what's going to happen with Michonne here. But the people she's with, they could die. She's with a lot of characters. I don't think Nat's going to die. Now, I would do some episode or like death predictions, and maybe I will if we find out some more information or if there's some new stuff sort of, in that final week going into the first episode. But yeah, I think Nat should live. I think Michonne should live this, this attack. I mean, obviously she will. I think the characters that aren't going to live are the characters that were in Michonne's final episode. I actually think they're probably going to get killed off in that very first episode because it kind of makes sense to me. Like, they're not really that valuable as characters, and I feel like they're probably, I don't know, like it doesn't seem like they're being like highlighted enough or focused on enough, right, in terms of like them promoting the show and all that. Like, they're focusing more on like Pearl Thorne and like Nat and whatnot. So I feel like they're going to be more of the main side characters kind of thing. And these two other characters are probably just going to end up dying in the first episode. And, I think they'll be with Michonne, and then I think they might have a bigger story in that first episode. But I think they're likely going to be getting killed off here in this first episode, and that'll basically be it, because they sort of were only randomly in that last episode there. So I feel like ignoring them, in this is something that you just kind of can't do. And I don't know, again, I'm more focusing on just like how they're promoting the newer characters, and they're not really focusing on those two characters from Michonne's final episode, like really not at all. Like, they're focusing on Nat and Pearl Thorne. So I feel like they're probably going to die during the CRM attack. I think that makes a lot of sense. But yeah, really cool shot of Michonne. It's cool to see another shot here from this attack right here. And again, I think this is probably going to happen towards the end of episode 1. There's also a new teaser here for The Ones Who Live, and it's a very interesting shot of I'm not sure of where they're at. They're at some sort of like CRM outpost of some kind, it seems like, and they're throwing like these devices on the ground that it seems to like attract walkers. And so again, I feel like this is probably connected, like just because of the lighting, because it's nighttime and there's the red lights there. I think this is related to the scenes with Rick outside and him like killing walkers and all that. So I think that they're doing something here where there's a bunch of walkers. Maybe they know that there's going to be a lot of walkers attacking a certain part of, the outpost or wherever they're staying, or maybe there's a mission that they're on. But yeah, it looks like they're throwing these devices here. They're going to get all the walkers all gathered up into like sort of a pile, and then I guess take them out like that. That seems to be kind of what this means overall. Again, I think just the lighting of it and the fact that we have like devices like this that they're using, I think in general is just very cool to see. It's just more creative. It's more just like, I don't want to say it's like The Walking Dead, in the future, but it feels more like it, because obviously at this point, if, like the CRM, they are the old government, but they've just been more focusing on the 250,000 people that they do have and focusing more on, keeping them alive and just, the resources that they have there. And if they bring anyone in, it seems to be more for military purposes. And if it's not that, it's more for test subject purposes. So it is kind of messed up overall. They don't really seem to bring anybody like into the community. They seem to just limit it exactly at that. So I have questions on just, their lifestyle overall, if people have like families and all of that. And if there's just certain things with, are they trying to control the population there? Like what is exactly going on at the Pacific Republic base? How do normal people live, kind of thing, right? Like if you're just a general normal person that has just been there since the beginning of the apocalypse, what's it like for you overall? Like, do you trust the military? Have things changed overall? Like, are you living a more normal life, or is it more strict? There's stuff like that about the Pacific Republic that we don't know, but yeah, anyway, still a very cool shot that we have here. And there's another shot here, and it's very, very fast, but we do see Rick. Like, we actually see Rick with other, I guess, people that would be working on I guess, killing walkers or doing that same job that he's doing. And yeah, we can see it's a city. There's some bikes right here. It's pretty, I guess, normal everyday life. Like, if you're just kind of looking at, you know, just everything here, like there's bikes literally on like a bike rack. Like the fact that you're even focusing on doing that in the zombie apocalypse, like, you know what I mean? Like there's a lot of little tiny things like that, little small details that I think show that, yeah, this place is definitely very, very safe. And obviously we see two other characters here. I'm sure Rick has just like talked with these two other characters. I don't know who these characters are. It's obviously kind of hard to tell, but they're going off doing whatever. But we have Rick at, you know, here in this scene, and he turns around and looks behind him. Now, I do think that this is probably related to something, you know, to do with Jadis. Like I'm thinking that Jadis is actually sort of connected in some way with the scene here, where she could be trying to, you know, to help Rick out, or she could be trying to tell Rick some stuff or whatever, but he's looking up at something. I don't think he's actually looking up at like at Jadis in this scene. I think that there's a scene connected here that Jadis is probably going to be in, but I think specifically with what he's actually looking at, it's probably just a helicopter. Like, it's probably going to be one of those things where it's just a shot of, you know, he's talking with these two characters and he's just kind of saying like whatever, this and that. They're talking about how their day's gone or whatever, and well, I'll see you tomorrow or this and that. And then Rick just kind of looks up and he sees a helicopter fly by and he just kind of stares at it and he's just like, yeah, I don't know, that's just whatever. And then maybe he just continues walking by himself, and then maybe that's where Jadis shows up, right? Like the scene could be something like that. I still don't know what it's going to be like between Rick and Jadis. Like, I know Rick, I mean, he can't like Jadis, but also Jadis did save his life. So like, you know what I mean? But like Jadis is also responsible for why Rick can't go back home. So it's kind of a weird situation. I don't know how Rick's going to feel about Jadis overall, but yeah, we have no hint at all, you know, in terms of how Jadis is going to play a role in really, you know, any of the show. Like, we haven't seen really anything from her besides, you know, we got that one shot that seems to be even related to the shot that we got in the trailers. So yeah, in terms of what's going to be happening with Jadis, who knows? But I also should point out that I do think that this is from episode 1 as well. I think this is going to be an episode 1 thing where, again, I think this is also set in the past. Like, I think Rick wearing this jacket specifically is set like years in the past, and I think in this scene here he's wearing his cowboy boots, so this tells me that this is set within the 6 years after he was taken away from Alexandria, and before obviously Michonne eventually found his boots and all that. So I think this is probably going to happen very early on, within the first 20 minutes of that first episode. Around there anyways, I think that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, as of now, that seems to be sort of, you know, all the new information that we do have. And obviously, whenever we do get some new news, I will do breakdowns and all of that. Tomorrow's video will be a Q&A video. Also, I could be doing another one, I guess, if there is new news on anything. But as of right now, I do have a Q&A video planned. And I also want to start doing some stuff like The Last of Us and other things like that, but actually appearing on camera and stuff like that again, because I actually did that earlier this month where I kind of had that set up. I kind of fixed some stuff a little bit, but I want to more focus on that and yeah, put out some reviews for The Last of Us and some other shows and all that. So anyways, hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.